Okay, Tina and Vidya. There are a number of screens that are available, a number of layouts. And so here is the demographics layout. This is the layout that's used by the administrators to fill in details. And you can see that we've got, in this green box, we've got steps 1 to 5, which the administrator has to execute. And here are the various fields that they have to enter. So, for example, I'll give you an idea of what's to be done. So step 1 is to click Add Baby for a new baby. So here you've got a button that says Add Baby. When that is clicked, you can see that we have to first of all enter the first name. So let's call that test 1, their surname test 1. You enter the date of birth, which is a drop-down calendar, their sex, male or female, where they were born, what town they live in, so, and their town of birth if they were born elsewhere. If the town isn't in this list, there is an Add Town button that can add to this list. And this is the key information. A lot of the functions are driven by an NHS number. So an NHS number would be entered here, and your own neonatal MRN number could be entered into this box here. You then enter the gestational age of the baby. Let's say, for argument's sake, it was 28 weeks plus 2 days. And then you enter a birth weight, 7, 8, 9 grams. And when you've entered that information, you can also, by the way, add in any risk factors for ROP if you like. And here is a box I've created for a study I'm doing, but that is not required to be entered. So when this data has been entered in, you can see here that there is a orange box that says either a 1 or a 0. And if it says 1, that means that baby is to be screened. And the first date for this baby, given these various parameters, the first calculated date of screening is the 16th of November. Okay, and so as I say, we've done step 1. We've added the baby. We've entered the data. We've added the town, and step 4 is click Generate Exam Form and add the date from step 3 into the date of exam field. So what this means is that the administrator has to note this date, 16th of November 2015, and then you click Generate Exam Form, and then you click in 16th of November as the date of exam. And you can see here now that the actual screen recording form has been generated for this baby for the 16th of November. Now I shouldn't have chosen that date because in fact that date has already passed. So let's, for argument's sake, choose a date that is yet to come, say 28th of December. Okay. So at that point, you can see on this field now, just for as if I give you a description of what this data involves, it pulls in the birth weight and gestational age data. It pulls in the NHS number that was entered. So this top row of checkboxes is to delineate where the baby is, and we, for example, have 3 separate units that the baby might be in: low dependency, high dependency, or ITU. So let's, for argument's sake, click the fact that this baby is in HDU. On the day, you would click Who has examined the baby. These fields are for research studies that I'm doing, so they don't have to be incorporated into what you would have. This is the method of examination for the right eye, and on this side it's the left eye. So let's say the baby's been examined by indirect ophthalmoscopy for both eyes, and here you would enter the characteristics of the pupil, how well they're dilated, whether there was any plus disease, and here you'd be staging the ROP and then entering the zone of the ROP. Having done it for the right eye, you'd then do the same for the left eye. And having entered the information about the grading of ROP, there'd be a decision, an outcome to arrive at. And so in this example, for example, you might say that your review was completed and that you are to continue following up the baby. Your outcome might be that you're stopping the screening process. Your outcome might be that you're going to treat the baby. And your outcome may be that the baby has been discharged home before the examination could happen, and that an outpatient appointment has to be booked. So in this drop-down menu, you could have a drop-down menu that says that they were transferred to another unit before the eye examination, or that they had deceased. So if, in this case, let's say that you'd finished the examination and that you were going to review the baby in 14 days' time. Clicking the 14 here automatically generates the date for the next review, which is the 11th of January. And you would note this date and then click Generate Follow-up Form, and you'd click in 11th of January. And this in effect has generated the next examination for that baby. Now, let's, for argument's sake, say that you wanted to know how many babies there were to be seen on the 11th of January. You'd go to a drop-down menu that says Calendar. You'd enter 11th of January, and we should hopefully find, and get list for that date, we should hopefully find that there is our baby that we'd entered in previously appears on the list to examine. So as patients are added to this list, as new babies are added, then this list will be compiled. And so on that particular date, you could have a list of babies here, and if you wanted to enter that particular baby's findings, you'd click Exam, and it would take you back to this form that we'd spoken of, which you could then start populating. So I hope this gives you a good idea of how the software works. There are other fields on here, but I won't go into those just for now. For example, there is a treatment button which would allow you to print off this particular form for filing in the notes. And there's obviously some bug there, but this is a printout of the treatment for a baby. I'll have to sort that bug out. But if we go back to the screening, we enter the screening information again. So I hope this is of help to you, and please let me know if there's anything else you need to know.